Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom, and welcome to another episode of So Frail Conversations. Today, we're going to be talking about why we won't protect women. Not only why we won't, but why we don't. This is a very, very, very pivotal conversation that needs to be had within our community amongst our people. And it's a very, very touchy subject because it's two-sided. You know, we have our side and we have the women's side. We have the sister side. But we need to, before we, start pointing fingers, arguing and shit, we need to peel back the layers and see a lot of this inception, a lot of how this shit developed. You feel what I'm saying? And how it even transpired into what it is. You know, by no means am I advocate for not protecting our sisters, like in all ways, shape, or form. Like, they need to be protected, especially with all the shit that's going on. Our women are disappearing at alarming rates. And, magically there's a lot of womb transplantations into men and shit. Like, it kind of goes hand in hand. You feel me? So, but in addition to that, there's other things on the grander scale. So it's like, we got to look at the full gamut of everything that's inclusive and everything that's going on with this. So, as I said, I'm not pointing any fingers, but I mean, y'all know how I get down. Everything has to be laid out on the table. Everything, has to be pretty much, elaborated thoroughly. I'm gonna try to keep it to an hour. I'm gonna try to keep it in this one podcast. If it does go over, it'll just be a part two. But for the most part, I think I can fit it all in. This is something that we really have to address, especially as men. You feel what I'm saying? As brothers, like we need to be able to know that our women have that security within us. Know that our women can look at us, for that level of protection. A lot of times we had that it's not my problem, that whole it ain't got shit to do with me, blah, blah, blah. And I can understand how that shit can come about. I discuss a few scenarios from my own perspective of how that can come about. But, there's times when it's not permitted. There's times when it's not warranted. There's times when we feel that, we don't have to. But collectively, all of our sisters still feel like they need to be. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the standard. That's the debate. That's the battle. That's the argument of, why don't we? And like I said, there's layers to it. There's so many layers and there's so many levels to it that, I think once the conversation gets started, then bam, we can, all right, let's put the right practice in. As I said, me personally, I'm an advocate for it. Like I say, okay, bam, our sisters should feel safe in our presence, period. You know what I'm saying? Not just conditionally, not because we fucking them, not because, we're putting, we're involved with them on the level, or they're my homies and shit. Like, they should all feel that way. And in that same breath, you feel what I'm saying? Our sisters need to be willing to accept that protection. It's the difference between wanting it and then be willing to accept it. You feel what I'm saying? Because like I said, I'm going to get into, a lot of the layers of different things and kind of just go into why it is that way. And it shouldn't be conditional. It should be defaulted. It should be automatic. It should be on some, no motherfucker should ever, no motherfucker, I'm going to say it like that, any motherfucker should think twice before even trying the shit. But you feel me? They don't even have a thought. They don't even have a forethought about the shit. That's what standard we set. That's what standard we laid. And that's what foundation we have put, as far as how we view our women, the value we have on our women, and the standard in which we are willing to protect them or will protect them. You feel what I'm saying? So again, I'm going to go into all of that. I'm going to break down as much as I can. And like I say, if it does go into a part two, I'll make it a part two. But if not, I'll try to wrap it up in this one. But before I go in heavily, as always, follow me on Instagram if you're not already, _just_scene_. Follow the podcast channel at the Just Scene Podcast on Instagram. Follow all of the merchandise connections with the Just Scene podcast and the Just Scene page at Just Scene's merch. If you're trying to transition into the plant-based lifestyle, as always, follow the Hitting the Raw program and be sure to get the ebook Hitting the Raw, Living the Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. Also, because it is So Frail Conversations, be sure to check out So Frail, A Reality to Black Male Masculinity, and So Frail 2, Toxic Femininity. They are available where all books are sold, and you can also get your copies in the links of the description to your podcast. And lastly, of course, I do accept support for the podcast. So if you feel, in the spirit to give, it's not obligated. You can click the link. All of what I'm talking about is in the description of your podcast. So without any further ado, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back and we're going to dive straight into it. And we're going to really figure out what the issue is with why we won't protect our women. Oh yeah, and don't forget to visit IamJustSeen.com. There you can get all things Just Seen. You want to add the Frail series to your library? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to learn how to master the market for serious trading and investing? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You want to get your hands on some exclusive merch like tees, hoodies, coffee mugs, hats, bags? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Are you thinking about transitioning into the plant-based lifestyle? Visit IamJustSeen.com. You ever want to just chat with Seen about anything from simple advice to mentorship? Visit IamJustSeen.com. Anything and everything that is me, you can find at IamJustSeen.com. So just take a quick peek into my world and see why being just seen is nothing less but always more. Because you never really know what you need until you see it. You will never see it unless you visit IamJustSeen.com. All right, welcome back. So right off the bat, we're going to go ahead and get into the two biggest inceptions. You feel what I'm saying? These two inceptions kind of lead to other things. Now, I can bring in the religious aspect. I can bring in that component. I don't think I'm going to do that this time. I'm not going to do that because, that's touchy for a lot of people. You feel what I mean? And, I don't really hold punches when I talk about shit because I'm very, very unbiased in the shit that I speak about. And so it can come off as, I don't give a fuck sometimes, or I'm being blasphemous or disrespectful. Nah, I got respect for everybody's beliefs. I just have my own reserves regarding them. And a lot of why we don't protect women has a lot to do with religious belief, but that can be a whole entire podcast topic. You feel what I'm saying? So I'm going to omit that. So I know some people might have been expecting, I'm not even going to go down that route. You feel me? I'm not even going to go down that route in totality. I might allude to it when I get to a certain point, but I'm not going to let that be one of the focal points. So with that, I'm not going to use that as the inception. But the initial inception, right? The initial inception of why we won't protect women. And, a lot of times why we treat our women the way that we treat them. You feel me? And the protection also does tie into, us actually being the damaging factor in our women. You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to, in order to keep from damaging somebody, you have to have the inception in your mind that you want to protect it. But why would you want to protect it? What comes from the protection? It's like, we have this default, for the soul, it's first rule of nature is self-preservation, right? First rule of nature is self-preservation, right? The first rule of nature is self-preservation. And we're not even willing to protect our women. You feel me? Like they say from the earth, you will return. From the earth in which you come is to the earth you will return. That is a metaphor for the physical body of the woman. The woman is the earth. The womb is the earth. We come from the womb and we must go back into the womb to continue our life. But what is it? What happens when we're willing to violate the first rule of nature? The first rule of nature is self-preservation, but we're not even going to protect it. We're not even willing to protect the very thing that continues our life. You feel what I'm saying? We come out of the womb, our mothers, and then we have to go back into our womb, the mothers of our children, in order to continue our life. So our life begins and continues. I ain't going to say it ends because it never ends in the womb. Like, our lives don't end. The cycles just keep going. But our lives begin in the womb and they continue in the womb, but we're not willing to protect it. We're not willing to protect our women. Something's off with that. You feel what I'm saying? Because we're willing to violate. Conditioning has made us willing to violate the first law of nature. Self-preservation. We're not even willing to preserve ourselves because we're indirectly not protecting the very vessels that we need to continue to preserve ourselves. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't want to get too, namaste-ish on that shit, but that's a very important point because where does it start? You feel me? Where does it all start? And me personally, I feel like it starts, with our upbringing. I feel like it starts with us as boys, when we're growing, when we're learning. And the first aspect in which we're shifted to that point where we don't fuck with women like that is with our mothers. Now, every man I've ever experienced, every man I ever known has always been one that'll kill you for his mama. That's real shit. We've set that standard that we will put you in a box over our mama. You can't even, like, growing up, we can joke, we could talk about somebody being broke. You could talk about somebody having roaches. You could talk about all of this other crazy shit that you could talk about. But the moment your mama is in there, that infuses a whole different point. You feel me? That infuses a whole different point. You can hear your daddy jokes and they don't hit you that much, but your mama, it takes you to a whole nother level. It takes you to a whole nother level, and you're willing to kill for that shit. But what happens? Why do we lose that spark? Why do we lose that spark? You feel what I'm saying? And we lose that spark because initially we love our mothers. We care for our mothers. We want, you know what I'm saying? That's our first bond. You feel what I'm saying? In the last podcast, I was just talking about the rejection. No, it wasn't rejection. It was Frail Conversations, the 3 pillars of the mind. And it was talking about how, you know, we have our first inception, our first detachment from our mothers, umbilical cord being cut, circumcisions, different things like that. The very nurturers, you feel me, that we're first, like, we're put at odds with our mothers from the beginning of our inception into this world. You feel what I'm saying? And we don't even know it because it's all subtle, but I've already spoken on that. You feel what I'm saying? So we love our mothers. You feel me? We grow up, we have that attachment to them. We had a connection to them. We want to be around them. Why? Because they're the feminine essence. We're the masculine essence. And in order for our masculine essence to get strong, it has to be in harmony with the feminine essence. Period. You feel what I mean? Period. But for one, our masculinity is being destroyed, as this whole series is about. But now it goes into, as we're developing, as we're associating things with life, we naturally have a proclivity towards our mothers. Just like girls have a natural proclivity towards their fathers. You feel what I mean? It's the essence. But see, it's permitted for a girl to be daddy's little girl, but it's not permitted for a boy to be mama's boy. And that's where the shit starts. As subtle as it is, being a mama's boy is one of the, is in essence like some sucker shit somehow. You feel what I'm saying? Like, yo, you a mama's boy. You that? No, I'm not. I'm not a mama's boy. Yeah, you are a mama's boy. You love your mother. You're connected to your mother. You're your mother's child. You are a mama's boy. But we don't want to hold that title. We don't want to hold that. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, going back to school. When I was in school, I fought a lot early in elementary school. Because motherfuckers would say your mama. You feel me? Motherfuckers would say your mama. And that's 0 to 100. You can joke on whatever it is that you want to joke on about me. Even the physical shit I can't change. But when you say your mama, that, like, it's problematic. You feel what I'm saying? And that's a lot of us. But then there comes that time when, you know, the trouble starts. You feel me? Our mothers see it early. And they're like, yo, I don't want you fighting. I don't want you wilding out. And granted, the gesture is noble. You feel me? I'm fighting for my mom. I'm protecting my mother's honor. I'm protecting my mother's name. You feel what I'm saying? But over time, your mother starts to see that she has a different route in which she understands it. So she's like, if this continues, you're going to start to, you know, be violent. You know what I'm saying? Not necessarily, I'm only fighting because this motherfucker said your mama. Really, I ain't fighting over nothing else, but that's the principle. You feel what I'm saying? Like I said, for me, when I used to scrap out, it would be, a lot of times, it would be your mama jokes. You took that shit too far. Don't talk about my mama like that. You feel me? Martin, on Martin, like, anytime you talk about Martin mama on the show, she'd be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, when we talking about my mama, like, it's like, yo, he gets it. We naturally have that defense in us because we're naturally built to protect our women. And the first woman that we're supposed to protect is our mother. The first woman that we have to protect is our mother. You feel what I'm saying? So that's one of the tones. But then it kind of goes hand in hand when we look at our relationship with our father or any male figure with our mother. You feel me? Here I am. I have to protect you. You feel me? I naturally have to protect women, but I'm watching you in your relationships. I'm watching you even with my father, and I'm watching how my father may act with you, and he don't protect you. He don't give a fuck about you. In essence, like, he speaks to you in a certain way. He, you know what I'm saying? He comes at you in a negative way sometimes. And then if you don't have men in your life, you know what I mean? It's certain shit plays into it. Now, this isn't everybody. You know, there's men who like, yo, they treat their women right. But it's like, even then, if you as a father will call your son a mama's boy, you're walking on dangerous waters, because that now children, their minds are so fucking beautiful and they're so vast and they're so expansive that it's polarities. It's like if you're not with me, you're against me type shit. You feel what I'm saying? So if I'm seeking approval from men, if I'm seeking approval from my father and he calls me a mama's boy, or my older brother, he calls me a mama's boy, or some shit like that, or my peers that call me a mama's boy, I want that acceptance. So you're not with me, against me. So in order for me to be with you, I have to be against this. It's the natural default. You feel me? It's not the natural default, but it's a natural separation of what we're defaulted to. You feel me? Nah, don't fuck with your mama like that, because you're a mama's boy. You feel what I mean? That shit is very, very potent, because now I learned to stop protecting her. I learned to stop caring for her. You protect what you care for. You feel me? In order for me to stop being a mama's boy, I have to stop having that affection. I have to stop caring. It's natural reaction to step into that. You feel what I mean? So the point that I was making was how when a mother sees that, like I said, at times I was using it as an excuse to fight. I ain't gonna lie. Like, what you fighting in school for? I get a blue slip home. Mom's fighting. What'd you fight for? He called you a bitch. Or he said something about you. He called you to be weird, blah, blah, blah. And then she sat me down one day. And I know the conversation in which she had to sit me down was because she seen the trajectory I was going on. You feel what I'm saying? So she asked me one day. I never forget. I had to be like 6 or 7. And she asked me one day. She said, "But am I a bitch?" I was like, "No." She was like, am I what they called me or what they say about me? I said, "No, you're not. But that's the point. They should not be saying that." She was like, "Well, if you know that I'm not these things, don't let it get to you. Don't worry about it." Again, the impressionable mind of a child. The adult is speaking as an adult to a child. It takes maturity for me to reach that point to where I can say, "You're right. My mama isn't that." But as a child, in order to turn that off, I have to then say, "Your words don't matter. What you just said about my mother doesn't matter to me. Even though it does. I want to fuck you up for the shit, but I can't, because I'm like, okay, you're right. She's not a bitch. You're right. She's not a hoe. You're right. She's not these things that you're saying. So now I got to brush it off." So that's like one of the first points that it starts with. We're branded as a mama's boy. Nobody wants to be a mama's boy because it's so negative. It's so negative. You feel me? So much so, I was in 11th grade and I was dating this girl or whatnot, and she came over to the house one time. She met my mama and shit, and like my mom asked me to do something or something, and I just got up and did it. Whatever the case may be, try to make sure everything was cool and copacetic. So we had a class together. We had foods too. So, and then our teacher, she was a woman, so she comes back to the class and I'm like, "Girl, he's such a mama's boy." Because the teacher and her they had some kind of vibe and shit. So she was like, "He's such a mama's boy. His mama told do this," and he was like, "All right, I do it." And he just got up and he's like, no complaints or no nothing like that. She was like, "He's such a mama's boy." And the teacher told her, she said, "The way he treats his mother is the way he's going to treat you." You feel me? Shut her up. But she was trying to do it in a condescending way. You feel me? So this is a woman saying that a man caring for his mother is humorous. It's like, okay, she was speaking in a condescending way. And at the same time, it's like, I'm going to treat you the way I treat my mama. So would you rather me be disrespectful, be like this to mom? Nah, that's not going to be the case. You feel what I'm saying? Now, there is levels to the mama's boy shit. You don't want to get too, where you act like your mama's boyfriend or some shit. But you know what I mean? But at the same time, that is where that protection and that shit stops. You feel me? Our direct connection with our mother is where it stops. You feel what I'm saying? So you don't say shit about my mama. You don't even come slick about my mama. You feel me? Because I'm designed to protect her. It's innately in me to smack the shit out of you when you disrespect my mama. It may not be innately, yo. Don't get me wrong. It might not be innate. But you feel me? The point is, it's that deeply rooted that it goes 0 to 100 when your mama is entered. And this is automatic. We don't have to be taught this. That's another point. Like that's why I said it's innate, because we don't have to be taught this. We just know one day somebody said something about my mama and it's a problem now. You feel me? It's a whole problem. You did all this joke. We were joning on each other, laughing and playing, but then you said your mama. Now we got to fight, bro. Like, why you bring my mama into this shit? Now we got to fight. You feel me? Because that's about the core, about the protection and the essence. You feel what I'm saying? So that's where it starts. It starts to dilute there. You feel what I'm saying? It starts to dilute there. So then, even then, we'll still have it. So even in not protecting our mothers, there still will be that code: protect your sister. If I ain't got sisters, admit that shit. But if I got a sister, it's like, okay, now we go from there. You feel what I'm saying? Now we go from there. And it's like, always protect your sister, but don't respond when somebody says something about your mother. In essence, these two beings are one and the same to me. But it's like, okay, cool. I'll protect my sister. But whatever they say about my mama, it is what it is. I'm putting that into the back of my mind. That is going into my unconscious mind. You feel me? Go back to the 3 pillars of the mind. When it's in your unconscious mind, that's what you act out. You feel me? So I stopped giving a fuck about protecting my mama, because it's like, now I have to rationalize. I have to consciously rationalize, because my unconscious mind is already acting. But I have to consciously rationalize. You know what? She's not a bitch. You know what? She's not a hoe. So I'm not going to let that sticks and stones may break bones. And we got to stop teaching that shit too. Sticks and stones break bones with words. And words will fuck you up. Words will fuck you up. Stop teaching that shit to kids, because now these kids, that's how bullying happens. And that's why kids are going to the depths that they're going, because we thinking bully is just a physical shit. Nah, it's that emotional shit that words carry that fucking damage you. You feel what I'm saying? I used to hear it all the time in high school. Not to me, but like, you'll be jokingly telling a motherfucker, yo, go kill yourself. That's not a joke to a motherfucker that's on the edge. You feel what I'm saying? And you think words will never hurt you? But that's beside the fact. I don't want to get off. I'm in the zone right now. And we're talking about, why we won't protect our women. You feel what I'm saying? So that's the first point, the mama's boy shit. The whole mama's boy conceptualization, right? You got to stop babying them. You got to stop doing this. Yes, you do. Do not coddle your son. Love your sons. Don't coddle them. You feel me? That's that baby boy shit. Don't coddle him. Love him. Because with love comes correction. Love isn't always good. You feel me? You want to be coddling him and like, nah, that's a problem. Like, we coddle our boys and we raise our girls. You feel me? Whole different conversation. I don't want to keep getting off. So, you feel me? We start to internalize that. All right, I ain't gonna protect my mama's name. I ain't gonna spaz on that. I ain't gonna do that shit, right? That shit it sets a tone. At that point, like, once my mama told me, I kind of stopped fighting in school. I kind of stopped fighting because I had no excuse anymore. You feel me? So if it was gonna pop off, I was like, damn, my only excuse is that, now granted, it was the, you hit me, I hit you back type shit. Those were my only 2 excuses. Well, they hit me first, mom. Or they called you a bitch. If I kind of initiated because your mouth was going, like, you feel me? You didn't always have to hit me first. But like I said, words still hurt. You feel me? You could say the wrong shit and then we'll scrap. You feel what I mean? And so when those are my excuses, you know what I'm saying? But that then became my only excuse. I was no longer able to say, oh, I'm thinking I'm being noble. Oh, he called you a bitch, mom. He said this there's a lot of us that have gone through that. Where our mothers have said, it doesn't matter. Don't worry about what they say about me. And I get why women do that, because it's like, I do not want my son to go down this route, because once it starts, it's hard to stop, especially when they got the school to prison pipeline. They're waiting for the shit to happen. You feel what I mean? They're waiting for the shit to happen. So that's a form of emasculation too, as a whole, like when we're not able to actually protect our women or not even conceiving that. So we go from there. We go from there. We got the mama's boy inception. Now, so we're willing to protect our sisters. You feel me? We're willing to protect our sisters, and that's gung ho. You know what I mean? But at the same time, where does it happen where we're not willing to protect the women outside of us? Now, I'm still in childhood at this point. You feel me? I'm still in childhood at this point, because in order to protect it, you have to respect it, right? We're never taught to respect girls. We're never taught to respect women. We're never taught that. And I get it. Mothers, you can say all day long, no, I make sure my son respects women. He knows to respect women. Here's the problem with that. You can't expect him to respect women if you're calling the girls around his age little fast ass little girls. There's no respect for that. You can't conditionally respect women. It's either all or nothing. It's all or nothing. It can't be conditional. Oh, she's fast. She's this. Pay attention. Like, I heard this shit all my life, from the time I was in elementary school up until college and all that shit. Watch them little fast ass girls, because they gonna try to trap you off. You got a lot going for you. You this, that, and the third. They're gonna try to trap you off. Do not be okay. So in my mind, these are fast ass little girls. The fast ass little girls ultimately become hoes. Whether they actually fucking or not, they become hoes, perception wise. You feel what I'm saying? I ain't gonna protect no hoe. These hoes is worthless. I don't give a fuck about these bitches, these shits. And I'm using it, and I'm not using it in a sense. This is how I view them. I'm using it in a conversational sense because this is where it's going. You feel what I'm saying? This is inception. You feel me? So now, all the big homies that I'm watching, my big brothers, my big cousins, my uncles and shit, I'm watching what they deem a fast-ass little girl. Because like I said, what we perceive as a fast-ass little girl ultimately becomes a hoe. The perception is that, she's fast, she's that, and the third. And a lot of times, the girls ain't even fast as much as the men around them are predators. And we're willing to protect that shit far more than we're willing to ice that shit. You feel what I mean? But again, that's a conversation in its own. So now we're dealing with the fast ass little girls, right? So I go to school. I hear, watch out for these little girls because they like you. The moment I have my first crush, you know what's in the back of my mind? She's a fast ass little girl. I like her. I get feelings around her, little butterflies and shit. I feel a certain type of way. You feel me? I really, really like this person. And this person likes me back. You feel me? Parents, you catch your kids holding hands or something, emulating the connection that they see an adult doing. You feel me? And hugging on them, it's like, yo, stay with, like, I don't want, like, yo, they stop that at such an early age. So we stop that connection to which we even respect our women. You feel me? From a kid, I'm seeing that these girls are fast-ass little girls. You feel me? These girls is fast-ass little girls. They'll do this. They like, you know what I mean? It's like, maybe I'm the fast-ass little boy. You ever thought about that shit? But you feel me? That's one of the points. I just had a conversation. It wasn't just, but like a couple months ago, I was at a family function and shit. And one of my women cousins literally said, you got to watch girls because girls lie. Ain't you a girl? Like, what the fuck? Like, you're not even advocating for your own self, like, at that point. Because little girls be lying. So again, I'm hearing this shit. Then it goes back to my childhood. It goes back to all of these things that I've heard about girls. They being fast. They'll trap you off. They'll do this. Now, I'm not putting onus on my mother. I'm not putting onus on my sister. I'm putting onus on the collective of women that I've involved myself with that have been in my aura. You feel me? They will always say, watch this little girl. Watch that girl. She'll do this. She'll do that. At some point, all of them can't be like this. But if everyone that I try to encounter myself and have an encounter with, or everyone that I try to get involved with, I'm being told, yo, watch her. Yo, she'll try to trap you off. She's like, I lose the respect for him. You feel me? So now, it now goes from the mama's boy shit, my source. I don't protect that anymore because, what you say don't matter. Okay. To now, these girls is fast. These girls, stay away from them. Leave them alone. These girls don't want nothing. They ain't about nothing. Damn. Okay. Boom. I have no reason to respect them. My value for women drops. So I tell people all the time, like, we look at men being misogynists. You feel me? But what about misogynistic women? You feel me? What about misogynistic women? They kind of fit into the shit too. You dig what I'm saying? Because they're coming off from a perspective where they're telling the same shit. They're speaking the same men shit. So now you talking about, we listen at rap music. These rappers are 20, 30 years old, in their primes and shit or whatnot. And they're talking about, yo, fuck these bitches. And like, oh, they're always degrading women in their songs. Granted, that is some fucked up shit. We got to start degrading our women. It's very fucked up. But our women, we were programmed to degrade them. We were programmed not to see them. We were programmed to see y'all as valueless. You feel what I'm saying? There's no value in a woman because first I'm a mama's boy if I love my mother, if I honor my mother, if I'm willing to protect my mother's name. I'm a mama's boy. I don't want to be a mama's boy. So let me put that to the side. You feel what I'm saying? These fast ass little girl, like when you actually like a girl, think about this. Now we're going to segue it into our peers. When you actually like a girl and somebody finds out you got a crush on this person, they pick on you for it. You get humiliated. You like such and such. Ha ha. No, I don't. I don't like her. She's that. No, I don't. She got a big head. She's ugly. I don't like her. So to prove that I don't like her, what do? I do the little love taps. I really like you, but I'm going to hit you because That's how I'm going to show that I like you. But at the same time, I got to make sure everybody knows that I really don't. I'm going to pull your hair. I'm going to fuck with you. I'm going to joke on you. I'm going to do all that. Like, I really like you though. This is how when we get to like our middle school ages and shit, same corny shit. Like, you feel me? We'll write at the end of the year and you hear, oh, I always had a crush on you. I really liked you. I just couldn't say nothing. Why? Because we're not designed to like y'all. We're not designed to like women. We're not designed to value women publicly. It's not until we're in our 30s where we get to the point where we're like, yo, fuck it. I really like women. Yeah, I got a girl. This is what it is. Oh, yo, you whip, you that, you that. Hey, man, call it what you want. I might be. It is what it is. You feel me? But that's the perception. Like shit like that has been programmed within us. You feel me? And it's programmed to our unconscious mind. So we just act. You dig what I'm saying? We just act. So there's no value. You know, we don't value women. We don't value women. And the women that we do value is collective. It's within our circles. They have to still be acting a certain way. You feel me? They still have to be acting a certain way. You know, if my sister get a boyfriend, like my sister can't have a boyfriend. You feel me? I'm not saying my personal sister, but I'm like, yo, if she like this dude, it's going to be a problem. No, you better not be out here fucking. You better not. I'm out here fucking women. You feel me? I'm 14, 15, 16 years old. I'm out here knocking women off. And my sister is a year and a half, 2 years younger than me. And I know that my peers are fucking. I know that my homies is fucking. They're fucking women. They're fucking girls. I expect my sister not to be. You feel what I'm saying? It sets that standard. Because it's like the moment they cross the, oh, nah, you got to be a virgin. You got to be pure. You got to be all this. And that only comes back into the religious context of women had to be virgins and shit because of the marriage is a fucking business contract. It is a union between families, period. That's what it was in a time when the shit was incepted. That's why it was important to have a woman who was a virgin, you know, or if she wasn't a virgin, she was tarnished. She was this. Like, we've been taught that y'all ain't shit long before we started saying y'all wasn't shit. You feel me? So why am I going to protect something that I feel is valueless to me? Why am I going to protect something that I feel like ain't shit to me? Without certain parameters. If she's a virgin, if she's not a virgin, she's a hoe automatic. She could have fucked one time. It could have been a worse experience because the dude, his sex was whack. It was the worst experience she ever had. And she never did it again. But the fact that she's no longer a virgin is devastating to the world. If a father finds out his daughter is fucking, he loses his shit. He don't even anticipate, oh, it was just one time, you know, or no shit like that. This motherfucker, oh, she's a hoe, she being fast, she this. The cycle fucking continues. You feel me? You feel me? I knew this father who found out that his daughter was having sex by finding out that his daughter was pregnant. You feel me? And to keep the shit under wraps, he made his daughter have an abortion. You feel me? He made his daughter have an abortion. And I'm like, I get it. Y'all talking about, oh, the parents, they weren't ready. They were blah, blah, blah. I get the shit. But at the same time, it wasn't even for that reason. It was because he did not want the church to know that she had a baby without being married first. Hey, huddle up, broskies, because it's time to elevate. The secret to evolving masculinity is to define it, understand it, then apply it. The So Frail series defines masculinity as the spiritual, mental, and physical embodiment of the essence of analysis and deconstruction. From this definition, I explain how masculinity is not just the hat that we wear, but it's the essence that we must exude through application. If you enjoy the So Frail conversations, why not read the books that inspire them? Visit IamJustSeen.com right now to add the So Frail series to your library to get a better understanding of what masculinity really is. I promise, after reading So Frail, you will never look at masculinity the same again. You feel me? A lot of that shit shows. You feel what I'm saying? So now we have certain criteria for the women that we're going to respect. So now it's starting to fine tune and the funnel's starting to come in. You know, we have certain criteria of the women we're going to respect. If she's fucking, or if she's quote unquote promiscuous, you know, she actually likes men. You feel what I'm saying? And she's able to comfortably be that. Like, because of that, there's a lot of feelings that women get. As humans, we get them. You feel me? Biological functions that just happen. You feel what I'm saying? So when we get these feelings and shit, it's like we're not supposed to act on them. All right, cool. Men, boys, boys will be boys. We can act on our shit. I get horny and shit. Oh yeah, let me go see what I can bust down. And I'm gonna go bust down a woman that ain't supposed to be fucking. Ain't nobody supposed to be she fucking. You feel what I'm saying? She's supposed to be quiet. She's supposed to be out of rap. She's gonna be all of this. Like, that's who I'm supposed to be involving myself with. Right? But at the same time, what are we doing our girls for that shit? Oh no, you stop. You don't do that. You're not respecting yourself. You're this, that, and the third and all that shit. So what does she do? She spends the night with some of her homegirls, or her homegirls spend the night and they play with each other. They have fun. And it's like, you find out, years down the line, oh yeah, my daughter, you kept her from liking boys. You feel me? You kept her from liking boys. This isn't all. Some people, as they say, are born this way. Some people are transitioning to this way for the very indoctrination that keeps women from actually being human. You feel me? But again, it's not just men that feel this way. Women feel this way too. There's a certain standard that she's not a woman and she don't do X, Y, and Z. She's not a girl, like she's a hoe, she's a Jezebel, she's a harlot. She's like the monikers go on and on and on. You feel what I'm saying? The monikers go on and on and on. You feel what I'm saying? And it's like, our perception of it as men is so fucked up. Like, we'll want a virgin who can fuck like a porn star. You need experience to be able to do that shit. I mean, come on, like, it's basic common sense. You need experience to be doing. How do you expect her to be able to operate her body in a way that she's never been able to operate? It's the same shit as when we apply for a job and they be like, you need 3 years of experience. But to get experience, you got to get the job. Fuck. Same shit, different toilet. But anyway, the point of that is like, because of that, we don't have that value for women. We don't have that value for women. And it's like, when we're actually involved with her, you feel me? We keep it under wraps. We hide it. We don't want nobody to know. Then when people find out, I was in the 7th grade. I never forget it. This dude, you know how when a new guy come to school and then he get with a girl or whatnot, and everybody like, especially if it's a girl, like, that's anybody, you know what I'm saying? When a new person comes, like, somebody got to get her. You feel me? So I was in the 7th grade. And this dude that came to our middle school or whatnot, and he got with this girl that a lot of dudes wanted. And I'm literally just walking down the breezeway, and he was talking to one of the, popular guys or whatnot, the guys everybody knew. And dude was like, yo, I heard you talking to such and such now. He said, she a hodo, right? She a low down. Like, I'm like, damn, bro. Like, well, he just got here, bro. Let him find out if she's that way. She wasn't. Nobody really had any rumors about her. Dude just actually said it. You feel what I'm saying? So he's like, nah, you right. Yo, I'm gonna break up with her. Nigga, just like that, you like this girl. You really care for this girl because another man just simply said, yo, she a hoe. You fucked with it and you just said, you right. I'm not gonna fuck with her anymore. A lot of us do that shit off rip for our women. But the fucked up part about it is, after dude actually broke up with her, the same dude that just said he called her a low down headbanger. That's what he said. She's a low down headbanger. Right after that, he tried to creep her. Now, granted, we 7th grade, so a lot of us was early, but never mind. But right after that, he tries to go with her. I'm like, wow. You feel me? That's the whole, that's a part of it. You feel me? That's why I tell people misogyny is also the competition between men. It's more the competition between men than it is the actual hatred of women. You feel me? So I had another situation. I had an actual situation myself when I was like a senior in high school. When I like what I like what I like. Fuck it. You feel me? So I like this girl who everybody like, you feel me? She touched my soul. You feel what I'm saying? We like the same shit. I did music. She did music. She was like one of my, I guess, biggest fans at the time. You feel what I'm saying? So one of the star athletes and shit is like, I was that cool person who didn't have to do anything else, but motherfuckers still fuck with me. You feel me? I didn't play sports. You feel me? I wasn't a gangster. but I was able to fit in any niche that you put me in because it was just me. You feel what I'm saying? But so he was the star quarterback athlete, whatever the case may be or whatnot, right? I'm just a regular person. So it's like, he come to me like, yo, bro, I know you ain't hitting that. I was like, so what if I am, bro? It's my dick, right? That's what I thought. You feel what I'm saying? Someone, yo, you must be desperate if you're going to stoop that low to hit that. I'm like, nah, I'm not desperate at all. Like, she's a dope ass motherfucking person. Like, I don't like, so this is the conversation we having. So literally 2 weeks later, she telling me, she's like, such and such tried to talk to me, right? I said, the very motherfucker that just said, I was like, if you gonna call me desperate for trying to fuck with somebody and then you go try to fuck with them, what does that really make you? You feel me? But it's the competition. You feel me? When you see what somebody else wants, you feel me? You got to try to take it. That's the misogyny and the shit. You feel me? That's misogyny and the shit. So now we have all of these different exceptions that are still fueling this. Now, granted, at this point of all that I've explained, I'm only 12 years old. You feel me? From the mama's boy to the fast ass little girls to actually having the value of women. I haven't even started fucking yet. I just have crushes. You feel me? I just have crushes. And I already view women. I already don't protect my mother anymore. You feel me? By like middle school, by like late elementary school, middle school, a mama joke don't even bother you anymore. You laugh at the shit and you'll joke. You'll give one back, but it's like, it don't hit you the same way it once did. It don't hit you the same way it once did. You feel what I mean? Like, you have to really see the malicious intent in order to respond that way. And sometimes even then, it still won't make you respond because you've already been putting that part in the cage. You feel what I'm saying? Fast ass little girls. Like I said, now I'm liking women. You feel? I'm liking girls. And then my peers, they don't really want me to like women. They don't really want me to like girls. They say, yo, bruh, you corny because you like her, and they humiliate you. They laugh at you. You feel what I'm saying? So you don't like her. So again, what you do the little love taps. You pull her hair on her. Like, yo, if I got a daughter and one of y'all little motherfucking sons pull her hair, like, it's gonna be a problem, bro. Like, it's gonna be a problem, like a major problem. That is not love. That is some fucked up shit. We need to stop teaching our kids that shit. But again, the thing about it, we're not teaching our kids at all, because we're so busy telling them, oh, you're too young to know about this shit. How the fuck are they figuring it out? You feel me? A lot of us don't even get the quote unquote birds and the bees talk because we're always too young to hear about it. But then everybody wants to be shocked when we start fucking. You feel me? But that's not here nor there. You feel me? You sitting down watching a movie, the sex scene comes on, they say, close your eyes. My ears are open. The fuck? When you leave, I'm going to pop this tape in and watch the part you just told me not to watch because I can hear it, and I'm going to listen for what sounds, and I'm saying, oh, that's what I was supposed to see. Not, yo, talk to me about it. You know what I mean? So it's like a lot of this shit happens like we're like 8, 9, 10 years old. We know. Kids know. They're not slow. Motherfucker, you was like 8, 9 years old when you knew about it. We were playing MASH. The fuck? MASH was, mansion, apartment, shack, house and shit. And who we was going to date, who was going to marry, what kind. We knew. We knew this shit, bro. Like, we knew this shit, yo. But I'm getting off. But a lot of this shit is like growing forward, like by middle school. We don't even see the value in a woman. We don't even see the value in a girl. We don't give a fuck. Not unless it's the physical shell. You feel me? Not unless it's the physical shell. So now it starts to get, more ingrained, because now we're listening to certain types of music more. We're starting to develop into ourselves. Well, not into ourselves, but into our conditioning. You feel me? We start to hang with a certain clique, start to do certain shit. And now it multiplies to the point where it's like we're on some, in So Frail 1, I talked about mantras of suppression. One of the mantras was fuck bitches, get money. M-O-B. M-O-E. M-O-E-B-U-A. Money over everything, bitches under all. You feel me? So when you have that conceptualization that these little girls is fast, it's easy to call them a bitch. It's easy to call them a hoe. Because these fast-ass little girls evolve into bitches and hoes. It's almost like a rites of passage. When you become 15, 16 years old, you're now a bitch and a hoe because you've always been a fast-ass little girl. I mean, it's basic logic, except if you're my sister or my cousin. It is what it is. Like, and I don't have to protect that. I don't have to involve myself with that. You feel me? So now we get girlfriends and shit. We're starting to date and everything like that. Somebody wrongs her. Now there's a fine line, because sometimes it is fanatical, but sometimes it is that protective factor. You feel me? Some call it overprotecting. You're overprotecting. Now some dudes we can't go above and beyond and be a little bit extra. Yo, don't be looking at my bitch, yo. That's some shit in his own. I heard I heard a big homie one time. You feel me? He was mugging. Like this dude was looking at his girl and not right. And he said, yo, bro, don't be looking at my bitch. That is like the biggest contradictory. And like, I get you trying to protect her, but you just called her a bitch. Like, come on. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Like, you don't even have the mental capacity to see that you're violating the very thing that you're trying to protect at the same damn time, in the same sentence. You feel me? So we go through that. So then the point I was talking about was like, when you get to the point where it's like, I'm not fighting over no bitch. I will not fight you over a girl. Like, that's some very treacherous waters. You feel me? That's some very treacherous waters, because it's like when she's wronged, you know what I'm saying? Or she's disrespected. It's like, yo, fuck that bitch. You feel me? Somebody can say something or do something. It's like, yo, you gonna fight me over a bitch? You wanna fight over a bitch? That is a psychological mind fuck. When a dude disrespects your woman, then asks you, are you gonna fight me over a bitch? And you don't fight him. I'm not telling you go out there and just start scrapping niggas down just for the fuck of it, because they may have disrespected a woman or whatever the case may be. Again, that's what I'm telling you. It's going to segue into some conditional shit. But at the same time, that's your woman. That's your lady. This man just disrespected her. But at the same time, he psyched you out of the shit, because like, yo, I ain't fighting over no bitch. I ain't fighting over no bitch. Well, you got to, because this is the protection. So now, this now goes into the attachment. I mean, this goes into the association that once happened with my mother. It's unconscious. It doesn't matter what they say about me. It matters what you think I am. So now you calling my girlfriend a bitch. You calling my girl a hoe. You disrespecting my girl. I got to smack the shit out of you, but I'm not, because I know she ain't a hoe. That's why I'm with her. I know she ain't a bitch. That's why I'm with her. So I ain't going to let it get to me. Seeds of planet. Seeds of planet. Feel me? So now this shit goes on for a long period of time. It multiplies. I'm not fighting you over no bitch. I'm not fighting you over this. Like, mantras of suppression. You feel me? We utter these words so motherfucking much that they manifest themselves. And we won't fight you over a bitch. But then at the same time, it's like, yo, why do we see women as bitches? Why do we see women as hoes? Because I said, they were once fast-ass little girls and they just evolved. They didn't evolve. They didn't become worse. Our perception of them did. We grew up on some, yo, that's a fast-ass little girl. If she was a fast-ass little girl at 7, at 14, she a hoe now. At 14, she a little bitch. Like, that's what it is. You feel me? That's what it is. I don't see the value in that shit. I don't see the value in that shit. And now I'm programmed. It takes 21 days to develop a habit, 66 days to solidify the motherfucker. I'm 19, 20 years old at this point. These cycles have been solidified like a motherfucker. I don't even have to think about them, because they're in my unconscious mind. I just act the behavior out. So now I know, respect the woman enough to get her number and fuck her. You feel me? But it's like this. That's another point. Like, we don't value women at all. So we be like, yo, I was just fucking that bitch. That's some very contradictory shit. You're putting your whole penis in something you don't even give a fuck about. Your penis is what holds your life force. Again, from the earth we come, to the earth we will return. And the earth is the womb. You feel what I'm saying? The very thing that you need to continue your lifestyle, you're just putting something you don't even give a fuck about. Think about that shit. That speaks volumes of what we really think about ourselves. But again, we're talking about why we won't protect women. That's a conversation for another day. So again, like I said, we get into these fuck bitches get money things and all of that other shit. And now we're no longer dwelling in the care for the woman and respect. We have no reason to protect y'all. We have no reason to protect y'all. You feel what I'm saying? So now we flip it. So now go back to our mothers saying, okay, it doesn't matter what I am, blah, 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 blah. So this is why I'm asking. So like, women want to be protected at the same time. But even in that same token, when you know the societal conditions and you know what it can segue into, you're going to be more apt to make sure that motherfucker doesn't protect you. Not even knowing that you're doing this shit. You feel me? If it's a man that you really care about, you would rather him shut the fuck up than actually protect you. because you know the ramifications of what can happen if he really does. You feel what I'm saying? My closest homies, you feel me? Like, some of my closest homies are women. And I be pissed off like a motherfucker every time this shit happens. And they know it. But I know why they do it. You feel me? They'll tell me some shit that a dude did to him 4, 5, 6 months later. Like, we'll be on the phone or like we'll be linking up and shit. And they'll just be like, yeah, such and such did. I'm like, when? Oh, this was a long time ago. Why the fuck didn't you tell me? Because I knew how you would react. Fuck how I'm going to react. Fuck all of that other shit. Like, tell me. You feel what I'm saying? I should not have to find out accidentally on some shit. Like, you feel me? Like, and then it's like time has passed. You feel me? I had another woman that I knew, you know, real close with. You feel me? I find out after she's divorced from this man that he tried to punch her. I'm like, why didn't, you know? And then I didn't even find out from her. I found out from a source that said, do not tell nobody. A word. So, nah, because motherfuckers know how, yes, motherfuckers know how I'm going to react. How I'm supposed to fucking react. That's, you know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, that comes into play too. You feel what I'm saying? That comes into play too. We, you know, and that's where the thin line comes in. That's where the thin line comes in. Because like, do I protect you or do you stop me from protecting you? Because you know what the fuck is going to happen. So I think it's like the idea, yeah, I got a man that's going to protect me, but I don't want him to because I know what it can get to. That's that aspect of it. Because there's some of us who, you know, this shit, none of this shit that I just spoke about, it affected us. There's some of us that actually operate from that. And they'll smack the shit out of you for their woman. They'll smack the shit out of you for their mama still. They'll smack the shit out of you for their sister, whatever. You feel what I'm saying? But because of that, they now hold a standard where it's like, I can't tell you shit because you're going to fly off the handle. As I'm supposed to. Why? Because I am supposed to protect you. I am supposed to be that protective force. If you can't want the motherfucker to do the shit and then not want the motherfucker to do the shit. You feel me? I've seen situations where motherfuckers be in the club and he with his girl or whatnot and blah, blah, blah. Dude touch her butt and shit. And he about to go scrap the dude out. Shorty jump in between her. No, babe, don't do it. It's not serious. Not at all. Like, nah. At that point, babe, you need to bring the car around. It's 0 to 100. The shit is already on. The moment the shit was already disrespected, you need to be sliding off. You need to be sliding off. Go get the car ready. I'm going to throw 2 quick jabs at him and I'm going to hop in the whip and we peel out. You feel what I'm saying? Make sure you drive it in so the license plate doesn't hit the cameras. You know the routine. You feel me? But at the same time, what's going to happen? Oh, no, babe, stop. Don't do that. We don't need She's going to stop him. Not only is she going to stop him, she's going to potentially put him in danger because he now has to worry about her in the protection. You feel what I'm saying? I could do a quick one-on-one scrap out, but if my lady's involved, she's trying to jump in, she's trying to fight too, I can't focus on my target. I can't focus on my objective. If she's in the way trying to break the shit up, you feel me? I can't focus on my target. I can't do what I got to do. You feel what I mean? So that plays its role in it too. You know, knowing that I got a girl who's like, yo, I wouldn't even let you fight. I wouldn't even let you get into. Why? Because I know what's going to happen. They're going to call the police. Shit like this is going to happen. This is the type of dude that's going to lead to shootouts. It's going to lead to other shit. You feel me? Nobody really wants that kind of energy afterwards. And then, because then now it has to go back into the full circle moment that brings this shit all back together in one regard. You know, he goes through all of this shit. You feel me? He get locked up or something because he beat this motherfucker up for disrespect. And now his family looks at the girl as something's wrong with her. Like she did something wrong. Nah, he did what a man was supposed to do for his woman. You feel what I'm saying? Oh, nah, you shouldn't have been out here fucking with like fighting over there. Like she shouldn't have been like, no. Now I get it. She cheat. She do some fuck her. Like she doesn't deserve respect anymore. She disrespected your honor. You feel what I'm saying? Under the premise that you are being what you're supposed to be as a man. You feel me? It's levels to the shit and it's conditions to the shit. I'm just saying. I'm the messenger. You dig what I mean? All of this shit plays into its role. You feel what I'm saying? So now it gets a lot more sinister because these are all the aspects when we're like teenagers, early 20s. So now we go to college, even if we don't go to college, but we go off, we get our good job and all this shit. Now we got shit to lose. Quote unquote, we got shit to lose. As if your woman isn't something that you know, is If I've already been conditioned that women are valueless, my job, my reputation, my stature as a man, it supersedes all of that shit. It supersedes all that shit. Fuck this woman. Like, you feel me? Like, she was a fast ass little girl at one point. Then she was a hoe. Then she was the bitch. And, you know, I don't have a reason to respect her. I don't have a reason to protect her. Even if she's, you know, my woman. You feel me? Even if she's my woman. So now we're in academia. You know, we're in corporate America to where we now have an image that we can't let. Like, motherfuckers be looking like, you know, as black men, when we get angry, we're monsters all of a sudden. Like, no, bitch, everybody got emotions. Everybody got them. Y'all just fear us. Y'all fear us. So that shit takes it to another level when we get that way. You feel me? Oh, call security. This, like, you feel me? I was just watching this shit on YouTube where these battle rappers was debating, who would beat who. When we get into our shit, when we get into our vibe, you know, God is there. You feel what I'm saying? As I say, with 2 or 3 come to my name, I will be there. But that's consciousness. Like, when we start being on the same one accord, it vibes up. Energy rises, temperature. Like, we're not angry. We're not aggressive. We're just vocal people, and our energy rises. Motherfuckers fear that shit. So when that shit happens, everybody, what's going on? Like, a group of, like, everything ain't about that. But we don't want that perception. You feel what I'm saying? We don't want that angry black man perception. We don't want that perception of, yo, you did this for this woman. Yeah, I did. Because she my sister at the end of the day. Like, that's what it is. You feel what I'm saying? But again, like I said, there's that fine line when you don't want to do it anymore. From my own personal perspective, I can actually speak on this. I was on a train one time when I was in Philly. Dude is cussing his girl out. Like, this shit, it was so bad. I was like, yo, bruh, chill. He didn't respond to me. She said, mind your fucking business. This ain't got nothing to do with you. Cool. I mind my business. I just stepped back, stayed on the train or whatnot. Their conversation, it got more and more heated, and he slapped her. Motherfuckers on the train looked at me like I was supposed to scrap him down. She just told me to mind my motherfucking business. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, at what point did I still feel bad for the shit? Yeah, because it's like, damn. But, hey, she told me she didn't want to be protected, you know? Dude was he stopped wilding on her when I was like, yo, bro, chill the fuck out, bro, calm down. Like, yo, that's your lady, man, stop. You feel me? He literally calmed down. She was like, yo, mind your fucking business. She said that shit, not him. You feel me? So it's like, where's that line at? Where's that line at? When we hear shit like this, when we go through shit like this, we have to pick and choose. And we start having to observe, all right, is she going to want to be protected? Is she going to want to be protected? You feel me? How's she going to come at me? Like, what is going to happen? So again, like I said, when we go into the corporate American shit, like, our women, yo, and you feel me? This shit pisses me off. Like, fuck that good old boy clique shit type shit that y'all motherfuckers want to be a part of. Fuck they table, bro. Real shit, yo. Fuck they table. You feel me? If they are actively and comfortably disrespecting our women in front of you, and you just like, you know, yeah, whatever. And then you want to go around her and be like, I don't really feel like it's just part of the job. That's the shit that I be talking about. That's that conditional breakdown. You feel me? They made us hate ourselves and shit, and then we hate our women the same way, and then we try like, yo, fuck them, fuck their table, fuck the legs on that table, fuck the food on the table, fuck all of that shit, bro. Like, at the end of the day, if you in a conversation and your women are not being protected, or your women are being disrespected, and you not saying nothing, you fucked up. You're fucked up. But you're programmed to do that. You're programmed to do that. So much so that the women are just like that. When I first moved to Philly, and I was in school or whatnot, I met up with some of the classmates and shit. One of them was a black woman. And we went to this little rooftop bar and shit. You know, we linked up and shit. I get there a little late, you know. Don't rush me, motherfucker. So I get there a little late. And when I get there, the waitress is there. Or what? It's a waitress there or whatnot. So I'm chilling, I'm sitting down. She like, now this is the black woman says this to me. She says, she got a black girl attitude. You might want to be careful. So I'm like, yo, you black. What the fuck is a black girl attitude? She said, you know what I'm talking about. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. Like, what do you mean? Like, you feel me? She was like, you'll see when she come around. So when shorty came around, you know, she took my order and shit, got me my drink, and, you know, we chilling. And so she like, I said, what attitude? She said, oh, it's just because you're a man. You know how they do it. What? You're like, what the fuck are you talking? I said, oh, it's the academia shit. The academia shit, it starts to make us not see certain things. Now, this is a black woman saying that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're not in that certain echelon, it's like you feel, I'm like, yo, you don't even know what this lady's life is like. She could be in a master's program too. She could be in another program, like something. She could have her shit already. And you know what I mean? In between time, this is something that she's doing to make ends meet because she's chilling and she's already been here. You don't know her fucking circumstance. You feel what I'm saying? So I was like, yo, chill. Like, you can't even, like, don't come at her like that. You don't know what the, you know how to, I'm like, yo, you got the same fucking attitude. Like clearly you got the same fucking attitude and you trying to get me to go against her because we around all of these, you know, gens and shit. Like, all right, it is what it is. But you feel what I'm saying? When it comes to that, and it was, I ain't gonna get into that. That's a whole different, that's, at that point, it's gossipy. But it's shit like that is the pre-programming that we have within us. You feel me? Her, like, my quote unquote allegiance to her, because we were black people in this program. Probably three of the only black people in this program. You feel me? My allegiance to her was to side with her when she said something like that. Now I can't side with you against us. I can't. I just can't do that. And I won't do that shit. You feel what I'm saying? So it's like, that now plays its tone because it's like, now we're in the academia. Now we're in the corporate life and shit. Now it's like, I'm only going to be willing to protect the women that are up here with us, for one. And then for two, I got to know that she's really down. You feel me? I got to know that she's really down or whatever the case may be. But there's levels of shit because we get up there to that point and we have already been conditioned for so fucking long not to value our women, not to respect that. Even when we get to that motherfucking level, we don't even see the women the way we're supposed to see them. Oh yeah, she's going to have an attitude. She's going to be there. Motherfucker, you have an attitude too if motherfucking 30 years of your motherfucking life, you ain't been valued. You have an attitude too if for 30 motherfucking years of your life, you in this motherfucking field, you had to fight tooth and nail to motherfucking prove your worth, work 8 times as hard to get half as motherfucking worth of what you actually have. And your own image doesn't even see you the same way. You be angry too, motherfucker. You feel what I'm saying? You be angry too. But the problem with that is that we don't want to consider that because we don't have to value y'all. We've been conditioned not to value y'all for a long time. So why the fuck are we going to protect y'all? How the fuck can we protect y'all? Why would we even want to? We conditionally make excuses as to why we don't have to. Oh, she's angry. She got an attitude. Like, we'll say shit like this. I don't like a black woman's attitude. But give me a Latina right now. My guy, it's the same fucking attitude, just different skin tone. Different skin tone. You feel what I'm saying? You willing to tolerate that shit? That's your own self-hatred hopping out right there. It's the same goddamn attitude. You feel what I'm saying? But it is what it is. So I talk to homies who would say shit like, yo, I can't talk to this woman. Like, yo, how you like her and this, that? I'm like, yo, they're like, yo, she got a nasty attitude. She don't have that shit with me. She don't have that shit with me. Because it's what she sees when she looks at me. It's what she sees when we connect and we vibe with each other. I see her as the woman she is, not as the bitch I'm trying to fuck. You feel what I'm saying? So she knows that protection factor is there. She knows it's going to be there. Like, that shit's so damaging to know that our women have to wonder if they're in a space where the black men that are there are going to protect them. And don't forget to take a moment to go get your exclusive merchandise from Just Scenes merch. At Just Scenes, each piece is specifically crafted with positive imagery and symbolism. From the titles and designs to the descriptions, each style gives you something to feel great about. With everything from hoodies and tees to coffee mugs and tote bags, we have something for the entire family. So be sure to get yours today. Find us on Instagram at Just Scenes Merch and get your merchandise right now. All right, man. Like, I'm gonna try to wrap this up. Cause like I said, there's still a lot more that I could cover, but I don't I don't want to get too much into that shit, but this is why we won't protect y'all. And this is why we don't protect y'all. These are things that have been given to us, that have been planted within us from a young age. So by the time we're at a certain age, our perception, our value for women, our value for y'all, it's not even all women. Because you feel me? We'll shuck and jive right now. We'll shuck and jive right now for whatever. But you feel what I'm saying? Like, when it comes to our women, it's just like somehow we can't give them that back. And it goes into why? Because from a baby, from a child, since I was able to even remember, not me personally, I'm speaking as, when I say me, I'm speaking as us as collectively, but, I've already been conditioned not to fuck with women, not to fuck with black women like that. They all fast. They all fast ass little girls. They're going to trap me off. They're going to this. You feel me? And so it fucks with their experience, man. It fucks with our experience with them and their experience with us. Because I come into this motherfucker like, yo, she ain't shit. This is why I can cheat on her and not give two fucks about it. This is why I can have multiple women on the side and not give a fuck about any of their feelings. I don't value them. I don't value it. I don't value them. So if I don't value them, I have no reason to protect them. You feel me? And that goes deeper into, I'm not just talking about physical protection, also emotional and spiritual protection too. I couldn't cheat on you if I was really protecting your emotions and your heart. I don't give a fuck about that shit, yo. I don't give a fuck about that shit when I can do that. You feel me? Like, you feel me? Because, like, in the relationship, I'm supposed to see myself. Yeah, like, you're supposed to be my reflection. I'm supposed to see myself. You feel me? If I can comfortably say, I'm not willing to do no stupid shit and hurt my motherfucking self, but at the same time, I'm hurting the reflection of me. Either I don't see her as the reflection of me. This is just a body. You feel me? This is just a body that I can fuck. You feel me? And just for how long I can do that with. So our women now set this tone for the value. And this is where it gets poisonous even more, because now our women are in a position where they're like, their value is viewed by their bodies and their physical aspects of the shit that we conquer the most. You feel me? Shit that we conquer the most, but that's not here nor there. I'm not even gonna dwell on that shit. You feel me? But this is why we won't protect women. And this is why we don't protect women, because we don't value our women. We don't value our sisters. It's still conditional from whether you are religious. See, whatever cult you in, those are the type of motherfuckers you're going to value. The religious man, I want me a good, wholesome Christian girl. I want me a good, wholesome Islamic girl. I want me a good, wholesome this. But then if she don't fit into the rules of what makes it comfortable for the man, oh, nah, I can't fuck with a woman with a Jezebel spirit. I can. Shit, throw that shit back, bruh. Like, y'all keep y'all be mad at the Jezebels. You feel what I'm saying? Y'all be mad at the harlots. You feel what I mean? The ones who actually explore themselves and love who they are. Get you a woman that motherfucker is scared of everything in life and she's not gonna speak. Like, I don't want that. I don't want that. Y'all can have that shit. You feel what I mean? Even down to us being conscious and woke. You feel me? Motherfuckers will call it, they like, yo, the black woman God, only when she's naked and oiled up. Fuck. I have yet to see a motherfucker post a picture of somebody looking like Miss Seeley and saying a black woman is God still. Same shit, bro. Same shit. Because we conditionally value a certain image. You feel me? We don't value the very thing. And therefore, like, oh, we need to protect our sisters. Like, protection is deeper than just, I'm not going to protect. Like, you can't just protect who you trying to fuck. You feel me? You can't just put that image and then it's like, detach that after you do. Like, you feel me? Me practicing celibacy. I practice celibacy for myself personally, but also for the women that I involve myself with. You feel what I'm saying? I'm protecting that. You feel what I'm saying? I'm protecting that too, because I don't want it to cross that line and I realize I don't really want you like that. I don't really want you like that. But I've already crossed that line. You feel what I'm saying? I've already crossed that line. We don't give a fuck about that shit. Like, we think the protection is always, our fight for. Yeah. Throw a couple punches and shit, get, you know what I'm saying? Well, be willing to get lumped up and shit for your woman. But at the same time, be willing to protect her emotions. Be willing to protect her soul. Bruh, like, what about that shit too? See, we get caught up in this protection and provision thing because we're so used to being stuck on a carnal level. We so used to be stuck on a physical level. We forget about the mind and the soul. You feel what I'm saying? It's like a lot of the shit that I've come to terms with as far as understanding, that keeps me from dealing with certain women. You feel what I mean? Like I've been asked, like, yo, could you still, I had this question. Motherfuckers be oblivious to certain shit that they be asking, but it is what it is. Motherfucker asked me, do you think you can be with a religious woman? No, I can't. I won't. Why? You don't think you can teach her? No. That's her realm. I'm gonna leave her there. The fuck? Like, because a part of protection, if I'm protecting the mind, I got to give you, I got to give you the game. Some people ain't ready to play it. You feel what I'm saying? I can't force that shit. Let her stay there. You feel me? But I think you could be with her. No, I can't. I can't, because that is not protecting her. That's not protecting her mind. You step into my motherfucking world, you not going back normal. And if your mind isn't built for that shit, you feel what I mean? I can't put you through that. That's a part of protection. You feel what I mean? That's a form of protection. Protecting your soul. Knowing that, you know what? We're not really there. I'm going to protect that. I'm going to honor that. And I'm going to, do my thing. You feel what I mean? But see, when we're busy trying to get every woman that we don't even value. It's crazy as fuck, yo. It's like we don't even value these women and shit. That's why it's like you can look at it and say, well, you got bitches and then you got women. I myself do this shit. I'm not gonna be holier than thou in this, because I do this shit even to this day. You feel what I'm saying? I have moments where I'm like, yeah, there's difference between a bad bitch and a real woman. I personally feel that way. My understanding of it is different, but I still say that shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because the characteristics in which what they operate from is different. I'm not saying it in the sense of, okay, when I say bitch, I'm not referring to like, if I say bitch, I'm referring to a bitch. If I say woman, I'm referring to a woman, because there's a different criteria for me that I now express these as. Bad bitches have a certain list of shit that is defaulted to them. Women have a certain list. Like, I'm not on just the gender shit. You feel me? The sole fact that you're one of the 70 something genders that happens to be female at this point. That, you know what I mean? That sits into that realm. But we'll do that shit and be like, we'll have that divergence of, this woman ain't a bitch because she's like, you know what I mean? But at the same time, it's only because we're interested in them. I can tell a woman from a woman. I'm going to tell a queen from a queen. I'm going to tell a bitch from a bitch. I'm going to tell a hoe from a hoe. It is what it is, because a spade has to be a spade, and vice versa. Do the same shit with me. You feel what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be in the situation where if I say you a woman, all of a sudden, because you turn me down, now you a bitch. That's not me. You still a woman. You just a woman that ain't fuck with me. You not a bad bitch that, all of a sudden it's like, I'm not going to call you a woman. And they're like, oh, nah, you just a bitch. Like, nah. If you already presented yourself as a bad bitch, I'm going to see you as a bad bitch. Like, that's really what I'm going to see you as. But you're going to stay that. You feel what I'm saying? It ain't like once you, oh, nah, you a stuck up bitch. You this and that and the third. Like, nah, you will remain what I view you as and what you present to me. You feel what I'm saying? But that's where the problem is. I got to break that mentality. I ain't gonna lie. I'm not gonna knock it. But you feel me? At the same time, through the condition, it's like, if you don't deem what I have set as, like, I can shift that to you. And that's where the problem comes in. You feel me? Within 30 seconds of a woman turning you down, she's a bitch now. The very woman that you just said, hey, beautiful, she's now a bitch. Like, within 30 seconds. Like, that's some amazing shit. You feel me? That's some amazing shit. Like, you really just switched up that fast. But the point of that is, like, when we lose sight of that, is when we realize what our conditioning is. To not give a fuck about women. To have to not value a woman. Unless it's like, okay, approved by the people around us. You know what I mean? And shit like that. Like, that shit takes its toll, And then in the same aspect, it's like, we still also have to listen to women not respecting women and not, like, you feel me? I've been in relationships where I could only, I could only be in the protective state for a woman that is in my circle. Like, if it ain't me and my homegirls, fuck them bitches. This is a woman telling me this. You feel me? For me, it was never about, okay, I like you, or I'm trying like, I was in a relationship where I would be tutoring women on chemistry, biology, whatever the case may be. I'll be tutoring them and shit. And I'm your tutor. You know, it's like, I don't want you spending time with that person. I'm fucking helping her to learn science. Shut the fuck up. You feel me? But it's like, if you're not fucking with my immediate circle, then I don't want you to show that respect to women. You feel me? Again, that goes back into the condition, the fast ass little girls and all of this shit. If you not within, and then the fucked up thing about it is this, like, if you're not within their circle, that's where the sisterhood shit fucks with me. You feel me? Don't be conditional, sisters, because we see that shit. We see that shit too. You feel what I'm saying? If you're gonna have a sisterhood, if you're gonna fuck with somebody and okay, y'all, let it be all of them. You feel me? Let it be all of them. Don't just let it be, conditional. You feel me? If y'all on Instagram, quick shout out to my big sister over at Nikki's Thoughts. Follow, like, I fucks with her. I fucks with her simply because, well, not simply, but I fucks with her on her sisterhood shit is because she be how y'all say the shit, yo. She be snatching edges and shit, bro. Like, you feel what I'm saying? Not only does she talk about, like, she sets the space for all of y'all. You dig what I mean? She sets the space for all of y'all. You feel me? It ain't just some yes shit. It's like, yo, get your shit together. Tighten up. It's a real fucking sister, because with love comes correction. You feel me? Like I said, yo, she be snatching edges and shit, yo. I be like, damn, yo, but that's what I be talking about. You feel what I'm saying? And, we get so wrapped up in seeing that shit from the sisterhood perspective of, it's Mean Girls table. Like, you can't sit with us. And then it's like, if I like somebody that's sitting at another table, they be like, why you like somebody at that table? She this, she that, and the third. Fuck that. If y'all sisters, let her shine how she gonna shine. Let her rock how she gonna rock. You feel what I'm saying? All that other shit is nutty and it's corny. But at the same time, we see that. So then it's like, that now speaks the volumes for us as men too, because it's like, when you involve yourself with that type of woman, you already know you're not willing to protect all women. You're not willing to protect black women. You're not willing to protect them collectively, only conditionally, as long as it fits the niche that you in. You feel what I mean? That's what it has to be. And like I said, it just can't be physical. You got to protect the mind. You got to protect the spirit too. You got to protect the soul too. You got to protect all of that shit. You feel what I mean? But again, it's like, oh, well, if she ain't in this realm, I can't fuck with her. Oh, she got to give her life back to insert deity's name in order for me to be in a relationship with her. And then when she comes into the shit, she now got to wear dresses down to her ankles and shit. And see, that's another thing. Because motherfucking, as opposed to just teaching men how to control their sexual urges, we want women to cover the fuck up. Misogyny, bro. That's a bit of misogyny too. You feel what I'm saying? That's why I learned, like, that's the part, like, I'm not telling nobody to do this shit. You feel what I'm saying? Because it takes a lot of discipline in this. Woo. I practice celibacy because it's like, yo, I can't stop being attracted to women, bro. You feel what I'm saying? I can't stop seeing a woman and having those desires. You feel me? I get the shit. Oh yeah, you woke, you very spiritually sound. That don't mean I don't be wanting to fuck them. Like, that don't mean I don't be wanting to say, yo, you feel me? Because that's the physical carnal aspect of me too. That's still alive in me. That's still well. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's like, bam, I'm not stuck on that. Do I see a fat ass and say, damn? Yes, I do. Do I see some nice titties and say yes? Yes, I do. I'm not going to stop that. I'm never going to stop that. You feel what I'm saying? Because that is an aspect of who I am as a man still. But at the same time, I learned to control my urges. So that's not what leads me when I connect with this person. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, bam, ooh, let me make sure she got a mind right. Let me make sure she got a soul right too, because that body ain't gonna last forever regardless. But you feel me? The point that I was making to that is, we would rather stop women from being who they are. Like, you can't control the biological function of the pheromones releasing and all that shit, and you're being attracted to them. The pheromones can literally make you horny when you walk past a woman. And vice versa. You feel what I'm saying? It's like, damn, let me double take. Let me turn back around. Sometimes you didn't even turn back around to see if she was thick. You turned back around because the pheromones caught you. Because she got the motherfucking sauce. You feel what I mean? But we try to conditionally wrap that up. We try to keep that in wraps because we don't value women unless we can add the value to them. And then that now changes the narrative because now that's where it comes from, to where women are now, my value and my worth is predicated upon how I can make this man, how I can make this man better in a world where these very men don't even fucking value me. Mind fuck. Mind fuck. And so our value and our position on how we value a woman is how much they can put into us, not how much we can put into them. You feel me? And it's like, yo, you have to prove to me that you deserve to be respected. You have to prove to me that shit, like, you know what I mean? Nah, that's by default. Because then at the end of the day, if something happens to you, you have a daughter and something happens to her at a party and shit, and you like, all these niggas was here, all these boys was here, and nobody stopped the shit. Nobody decided, yo, this is fucked up. This is fucked up. You feel what I'm saying? So this is why when I look at the statistic, the statistic that says, you know, over 60% of black women have been sexually assaulted. Why? How is that even a fucking thing? Because there's no value. Yo, you just an object, bro. Like sis, I mean, like that's what I see you as. You feel me? So then it's like, after I use you, I dispose of you. That's why I don't have a reason to protect you. I don't have a reason. Like, this shit is conditioned. It's from upbringing, and it's just like, it's cyclic. You feel me? It's cyclic. And then we don't even value the very image that we see. You feel what I'm saying? So protection is multiple levels, bro. It's not just the physical. I'm not just talking about, yo, I'm going to fight for this woman. And you know, somebody disrespect, like, that's cool. Have that. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, our essence and our aura needs to be so motherfucking strong that motherfuckers don't even think twice about it. Motherfuckers don't even think, like, when you walk into a room with your woman and shit, you feel me? Motherfuckers don't even think to look at you crazy or look at her crazy or say anything stupid. You feel me? And not just your woman, but any woman that looks like you. You feel what I mean? Any woman that looks like you. That's a heavy task. That's like, if you don't want that responsibility, you ain't got to take it. But at the same time, you're going to wish that, like, the universe responds to a reverberation. You feel me? If somebody disrespect my sister in my absence, you feel what I'm saying? Me and my brother's absence, I would want to know that she was in a space where she ain't have to do the shit herself. I would want to know that shit. Is it a reality? Probably not. You dig what I mean? But that's where we at with this shit, yo. That's really where we at with this shit. And that is what's hindering us. And that's why we don't have a desire to protect y'all. We don't have a desire to do that shit. So with that, we have protection and provision that goes hand in hand. This is why motherfuckers want to go half. You feel me? This is why motherfuckers want to go half. Now, granted, I ain't the type of motherfucker that's like, yo, I'm for it or against it. Because I'm about a union. I'm about balance. You feel what I'm saying? But at the same time, that same token is like, I understand the mindset in which that comes from. Because the very motherfucker that says, okay, I'll go half, I'm not willing to put it, like, if I'm willing to go half, I'm not willing to put you in a full level of protection. Because I'm not willing to make 100% investment on you. Feel me? I'm not willing to make 100% investment on you. That speaks volumes and shit, bro. So when you say I'm going half, it's not just, okay. Now, granted, there's women who's like, yo, the shit's going to be met halfway. The shit's going to be met halfway. Don't get me wrong. Like, because whether I put 100% in, she's going to put 100% in too. You feel what I'm saying? Just another aspect. It ain't like she just going, I'm going to take care of everything. She's going to be a slouch. Hell the fuck no. Not me. But see, it's like, okay, I'm only going to put 50% in because I don't trust this investment. That's a fucked up shit. Because again, I don't see the value of a woman to put 100% investment in her. Goddamn. Damn. This is supposed to be the motherfucking outro and shit, but this shit done ran longer, so I'm gonna have to do a whole nother outro. But yeah, I told you, like, this conversation is something that's very, it really needed to happen, and it needs to be thoroughly comprehended. Like, we on some other shit with this. You feel me? We on some other shit with this. Our women need to be protected. Our women need to be provided. It's not, well, provided for, that's different, but our women need to be protected. Our women need to know that they can feel safe in our presence, and they don't. And they don't. And they don't need to feel conditional. Like, if, like, I'm only going to, like, they're thinking, I'm only going to be protected by this man if I give him something, or if he has something to, like, again, because we don't see the value in y'all, there has to be some kind of collateral for us to put the shit up. This shit is like, yo, this shit is fucked up. It's fucked up. But again, it's a lot of societal conditioning that happen to this. It's a lot of societal conditioning that happens to this. And it's been happening like that since we were kids. And we learned it from men and we learned it from women equally. So when we ask, why don't men want to protect women? Why don't our men feel like, that shit bothers me to know that black women don't feel safe in our presence. So much so, like, when I was in Philly, like, at one point, I lived like real close to where I work. So sometimes I'm like, yo, fuck it, it's a beautiful day outside. I just got off. It's Sunday. I'm going to walk to the crib. You feel what I'm saying? And I will walk and I will get behind a black woman. And instantly, my first response, and this is very problematic, my first response is to slow down. My first response when I get too close to walking behind a black woman is to slow down, slow my pace down. Because I know she feels scared now. Am I going to hurt her? No. Am I going to wrong her? No. But at the same time, we talk about empaths and shit all the time, empaths, however you call it, but I can really feel somebody's energy. I can feel when her heart starts racing. I can feel when she gets scared, and that makes me pull back. I'm like, yo, I got too close. My bad. But, in that same aspect, that makes me slow down, but stay with her. Because it's like, damn, I'm really not even going this way, But at the same time, you're afraid right now. Why do our sisters feel like that? You feel me? Why do our sisters feel like that? Why do they feel that? Like, that's a fear, bro. Whether you're the type of black man that's going to do that shit or not, and whether you are, you feel me? That's problematic. That's very problematic, to where they feel afraid in our presence when they should be feeling safe. That's some shit, bro. But like I said, man, I can keep going on this topic. This was a very, very, there's definitely got to be a part 2 to this shit, yo. I don't know when, but it's definitely going to be a part 2 to this shit. Because like I said, I can still keep going. And I don't want to take too much more of y'all time. This shit is only supposed to be an hour. But, yeah, man, like, we got to make a change, bro. We got to make a change. When it comes to this masculine shit, it's time to tap into the essence and the core. Fuck this manly shit. Fuck this manly perception based off of toxic femininity. We got to break this shit, bro. We got to break this shit. Shout out to all of those who are, fucking with me on the cycle breaking this shit. And, anybody who's not, whatever. You feel what I mean? And, yeah. To get more insight of what I'm talking about, you know what? I don't even think this is in the books. No, I didn't put this in the books yet. This will be probably in part 3. But yeah, man, it's time to make a change, man. It should not be conditional upon the fact that, it's our daughter. It's like, shit like that. Like, our women need to feel safe around us. They need to know that if somebody does something slick or something pops off, that we got their back regardless. Like, we're not even thinking twice about it. We got their back. You feel me? If we set that standard, we won't have to do the shit. You feel me? Yeah, some of us going to have to get our hands dirty. Some of us going to have to get muddy. But then it gets to a point where it's just like, yo, I'm not willing to get muddy with this motherfucker. Like, you feel me? That tone got to be set. That tone got to be set, bro. Because we don't disrespect anybody else's women. We don't disrespect anybody else's women. I seen YouTube videos and shit where You know, dudes like I seen a little white boy snatch off this little black girl wig off. Why she had a wig, I don't know, but she had hair in it. Y'all know the stories and shit. Her weave, whatever. He snatched the lace front off, and they said Yaga, and she slapped the shit out of him. You feel me? But the thing about it is that, how did he feel comfortable enough to do that shit? And there was other black boys there. And these are just the boys. You feel me? These are just the boys. I've seen it all. But I have yet to see us invoke that fear. We ain't gonna go disrespect somebody else's woman. Not in their circle and shit. We ain't gonna do that shit. But yet motherfuckers feel comfortable enough to come in ours. You know? It is what it is though, but like I said, it's time to elevate the standard. It's time to elevate and shit, bro. And I think the whole cycle needs to break. Everything needs to start shifting and changing, but that's just me. I'll keep going on, but whatever the case may be. As always, if you aren't already, be sure to follow me on Instagram at _just_scene_. Follow the Just Scene Podcast at the Just Scene Podcast. And I know I've been slacking this shit on the post and shit, cause like, yo, motherfucking life. Damn, shit, life happens. But anyway, follow Just Scene's merch. Be sure, if you're trying to transition to a plant-based lifestyle, follow the Hitting the Raw program. Be sure to get the ebook, Hitting the Raw, Living the Raw Plant-Based Lifestyle for Life. And be sure to get So Frail, A Reality to Black Men Masculinity, and So Frail, 2 Toxic Femininity. I'm telling you, these So Frail conversations is going down a deeper ass rabbit hole, and I want y'all to keep up, because by the time So Frail 3 come out, I don't want y'all shocked and rattled and shit, like, oh, because that shit, So Frail 3 is going to eclipse both of them. But, that's that. Yeah, all of the links to everything that you're looking for will be in the description of your podcast channel, whatever you're calling it. And lastly, I do accept support and donations, and all of that is also in the description as well. If you feel the need to drop a gem for a gem that was dropped, cool. It's all up. So with that being said, I just want all my brothers to say, okay, you ain't got to step up. You ain't got to. But at the same time, like, it's time for the shift, bro. The unconditional shift. Our sisters need to be protected unconditionally, no matter what. I'm not protecting her. I'm going to protect her. I'm going to protect her even if she is in a miniskirt. I'm going to protect her if she got a skirt to her ankles. You feel what I'm saying? I'm going to protect her if she wears makeup and weave. I'm going to protect her if she doesn't. From the yogi to the stripper, it don't matter, bro. There are women. There are women, and there are sisters, yo. Don't wait until it's your sister, your cousin, your mama to say, why didn't nobody do anything? Because the universe responds to the reverberation you put out. You dig what I mean? To the reverberation you put out. It's time to elevate and set that standard, bro. It's time to change the game. With that being said, I love y'all. Live, love, laugh. Peace. Hold on. I feel like there's something else I got to say. Nah, that's it, yo. Live, love, laugh. I love y'all, man. Go kiss your babies, and as always, make sure they eat their vegetables and shit. And yeah, my brothers, yo, it's time to elevate, bro. It's time to elevate. Peace, love, knowledge, and freedom. I'm out.